So on the Mo Ibrahim reports, annual forum report which came up, three main issues actually came. And one is assessing Africa's needs. The second is also looking at external resources to finance Africa. And the third is improving domestic resource mobilization. Considering first and foremost the Africa's needs, reports actually say that Africa needs as much as 1.3 trillion US dollars to be able to finance its sustainable development. Others also say that Africa needs about $200 million annually. But despite the variability in the different figures, it is also clear that Africa simply needs, there's a financing gap which Africa needs to work on basically. So how do we get this money? This money could be gotten from the external sources, and at the same time, it could be also gotten from internal sources. External sources has been official development assistance in many cases. So how do we go about this? Unfortunately, Africa does not have enough voice or seat at the table in the global financial architecture. What could be done is to increase Africa's visibility, decision-making in the global financial architecture, to be able to exert on itself how it assets funds. It's a very critical point which needs to be done. Otherwise, it will still be business as usual. Now, looking at domestic resources, generating or mobilizing resources internally, within Africa, one way is to broaden the tax system. As we have now, it's only a few businesses, so to say, who are more or less taxed. But the majority of businesses in Africa are basically informal. Now, how do you bring this into the tax bracket? Is to formalize these businesses, and by so doing, you let them gain access to finance, they improve upon their businesses, and then government can tax. So that is one way through which government can source funds within the continent. The other way is to stop the illicit financial flows. Sometimes one will wonder, isn't the money which goes out that is also coming back as official development assistance? It's only a question, but if one thinks critically about this, one could understand that if we seize or we block illicit financial flows, then it may not even be necessary perhaps to even go for official development assistance, because that amount which goes out is far huge, or perhaps three times the amount of official development assistance. So Africa can mobilize resources internally more strongly, but nevertheless, we need also external support. So we can generate external support, we can improve upon our domestic support to assess our needs. A last point will be looking at how we can add value to the resources that we have. When we are able to do so, you would have the appropriate value for our resources. And then when we have minerals being turned into real products, not just the raw materials, but into real products, we can now have the right amount, which could then be the basis on which government can tax. So the money is there, but the only issue we have to do is that we have to be smart with how we take the money. And that is what the Mo Ibrahim report is talking about.